But yet,
I have two.
But yet, I can, I can be in love with a woman, but I'm like still checking out other women and thinking about them. Like, why can't I maintain that same kavana that I have with the Cowboys, but carry it over to a woman? Because I'm not tempted to lust for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I know. Here's how it goes. You want to know why?
Yeah.
Because guys are more into sports than we are into women.
Yeah, I guess women come and go, but a good running back, that's actually...
No, we're just more into sports than women. You know, I had these conversations with my Kala when we were engaged, and I said, here's how it goes. Most of the time when you come over, I'm going to pay more attention to you than I would for the game that's on TV.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are certain games you're going to have to take a back seat in.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the Mighty Ducks at the time, right? You know, if they're going to the Stanley Cup playoffs, you know, a couple of like the early rounds won't make a difference. But if they're ever in a Game 7 or if they make it to the finals, then please don't distract me. This is huge, you know. And she understood it. There's just certain things, like, you know, a chick takes the back seat. I can't explain it. But I think guys, you know why? Because we attach to sports before we ever attach to chicks. You know, sports grab us like at 7 or 8 years old, and we're like really into it. We don't even like girls at that age, you know? And this is like what we are. Because we're, you know, it's a guy thing, right? So we grab the guy thing. You know, women come secondary to that. That's our guy thing. Does that make sense? Now,
and also with sports, like the athletes continually like stay young and in great shape, while wives tend to pack on the pounds.
Okay, don't say that. You're gonna lose your audience. Now,
I don't mind. I don't care about ratings. Like women, they do this thing where they gain like 2 or 3 pounds every year. You don't really notice the first 2 or 3 years, but by year 10, and they weigh 30 pounds more than when you married them.
It's not ratings, dude. You just wrote yourself off from like all these different chick lists.
I'm just a truth teller.
All right,
but the Dallas Cowboys, they say young.
Here's what I want to say to you.
Mm-hmm.
The love that you have for the Cowboys is the love that you should try to manifest for Torah.
Yeah.
Torah should be your number one. Right?
Yeah.
Torah. You should never want to leave the Torah for something else. And what's the something else? What is the something else besides Torah? The Cowboys.
Oh.
When you follow the Cowboys, you're cheating on Torah.
Yeah.
That should bother you.
Yeah,
that should bother you.
It does.
Huh?
It does.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the important thing. All right, so now let's get back to what we were learning. What's the next thing?
I just have to email you latest excerpt from the chat. Oh, shoot. Oh. Okay, Rabbs. Here we go. You get all the chat excerpts. So,
thank you so much. Here's
the latest thing. It's from the Art Scroll Stone Chumash. That's the Pentateuch, 5 books of Moses with a little commentary. So it's on Genesis chapter 30, verse 38. When husband and wife unite, they must purge their minds of all impure thoughts.
We just talked about that.
And every element which is foreign or which concerns third parties, like the secretary, co-workers, like girls who read the news on Fox News, like Megyn Kelly.
So she got pregnant again.
Megyn Kelly got pregnant again?
Yeah, it's in the news today. That's how low that America is. You need to know who's pregnant.
The degree of their moral and spiritual purity will affect the souls of their children.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. You asked me the question, and you said if I was banging my wife, what would my thoughts be? So number one is I'm going to tell you right now, I'm never going to be married. Number two is I'm not a tzaddik. And number three is, who cares? Because the whole problem with having impure thoughts when you're banging your wife is that your child is going to grow up, because from the head of the father to the head of the son, right? But I'm not having any kids. So who cares? I can have the most
impure thoughts
and
around.
The most impure, the dirtiest, most perverted.
Like you could be thinking about guys.
Oh, you just ruined everything. You just ruined everything.
Hairless young Asian men.
But see, this is it, you know, so like I partner very well with a chick, let's say, who has really perverted lusty kind of stuff that she wants to work out, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I don't have a standard I have to keep. There's no bar set for me at all.
Yeah.
You know, like if she needs me to, like, you know, tie her up and spank her and bang her in the ass, no problem. I can have the worst fucking thoughts in my head. It doesn't really matter because there's no kids, there's no risk. There's nothing to lose.
I remember I had this woman friend, and she'd say to me in discussions like this, "Could you not use the word bang?" I said, "Fine, pork." And then she said, "Please use bang."
Bang!
So when they don't like the banging, start saying porking, and they'll appreciate the banging.
Okay.
So feel free to drink from my wisdom, folks.
Go ahead, keep going. You're on a roll. By the way, I'm doing really well. I'm on pace because I need Pitt and 42, and we're on pace here. Go ahead.
So, on balance, do you regard Jewish law as more of a gift or a burden to your life?
I'm going to say it's a burden.
And I would say, frankly, if most frum Jews were talking honestly, most of the time they'd say burden.
Here's again, you're pulling something out of your ass. Do you know most...
Rabbi Mug, I'm kidding, he hasn't said anything.
You just pull these things out like you've talked to
How
many frum Jews do you know? How many frum Jews do you know?
127.
You know 127
Yeah.
frum Jews. There's how many hundreds of thousands or millions of frum Jews do you know in the world?
Look,
you don't even speak the same language as
sacred
they.
text, we talk about the burden of the kingdom of heaven.
Do you know any frum Jews
the burden of the kingdom of
outside
heaven.
of LA?
The burden of the kingdom of heaven.
Okay.
Right? What's the expression in Hebrew? The burden of the kingdom of heaven. It's a famous expression.
Is it?
In the sacred text. So yeah, even our own sacred literature sometimes refers to the Torah as a burden. I mean, it's also a delight, but...
I've never heard that expression. Okay.
So, do you believe that you can make deals with God? Like, do you expect anything from God in exchange for your keeping the commandments?
I gave up on that a long time ago. I used to think that I could wheel and deal.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I could wheel and deal, you know,
Yeah.
like maybe like I'll do this.
Oh, look at that little monkey. Just kidding. I remember how it gets out.
Why would you? That's random. You know, like I used to wheel and deal. It's like, okay, God, here's how it's going to go down. You're going to do a bargaining thing here. I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and you're going to be the good God, and you're going to, you know, come through with ABC. And I would do X, Y, Z, and ABC never came. And then I would say, okay, I'll do, you know, this, and this, and it still didn't come. And this, and this, and it still didn't come. And after a while, you just say, fuck it. Fuck it. Because I'm doing all this work, and I'm getting nothing for it, you know? And so, like, I gave up, you know, and there's nothing I can get from him. I'm done bargaining with God. It does not work.
So do you think that you're less likely to get cancer because you keep the commandments?
I think there's no cause and effect when it comes to these things. I used to put together all these things. I used to hear, if God does, if you make this kind of a living, you do a good living, and you're not learning that much Torah, how much more you'll make a good living if you do learn Torah? I'm living proof it doesn't work like that. Right? I threw myself into Torah. I gave up all my worldly goods, like I said to you earlier. I went and learned in yeshiva for a decade, and I came out and look at me today. You said, how does it go for you today? I turned into my life, it's a disaster. I'm like 1 week away from being homeless. I've never been married. I'm 50 years old. I'm never going to be married. I've got nothing. I've got nothing. I'm a complete fucking loser, right? And I'm probably going to kill myself before... our ratings ever turn around, you know, so I mean, it's like my life is in this shit sewer, right? And you're asking me like, how did learning Torah go free? Well, it went like a shitstorm, you know. It's like the people who got free tickets out to the Titanic. How was that boat ride? How was the maiden voyage? Oh, it was really good, you know.
Until we hit the iceberg.
Until we hit the iceberg, it was mamish great, you know. And then after that, it was pretty much a shitstorm. You know, it's like You know, it's like bargaining with God doesn't work, okay? Promising you're going to learn Torah